Hi, Ashley Whiting. So this morning I just pulled out a ton of carrots from my raised vegetable garden bed. I just wanted to show you really quick the two varieties that I grew. I'm here in Central Texas, a little north of Austin. It's called Cedar Park. What I grew, here are some of them. Look how good they look. Yum, right? And if you've never grown carrots, you may not know what a beautiful smell carrots have. They're so fragrant. It's like one of my favorite smells. Tomatoes are another one that smells so good. When you've been pruning tomatoes in the garden, your hands smell so good. I love that smell. But carrots smell so good as you pull them out. But anyways, I wish you could smell through your screen right now. But those were Danvers carrots. And then I also grew long imperator or imperator. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've just said imperator forever. So anyways, these are them. And I have more. I started just pulling them all out, forgetting. And then I have a whole basket here of carrots. I started pulling them all out and then forgot, oh, I want to keep them separate just to compare and see how they did. So look-wise, the Danvers carrots are, let's see, they look, okay, there's some short ones, some long ones, some fat ones, some skinny ones. These are a little more unique. So I had a little more, you know, like this kind of a thing. Do you see where you get little roots growing off? I haven't even cleaned these off yet. They're super dirty, but so I have a little more of those with the long imperator. And I don't know why they say long, because they're really not longer. I mean, I do have like a couple long here. But I also have those with the Danvers. Now what I need to do is taste them. Maybe there's a difference in the taste. So I'm gonna clean off a few. I'll get a little one here and just wash it off in the water here. And I never peel my carrots, at least homegrown carrots. There's a farmer friend of mine once told me that there's a ton of nutrients in the skin of the carrots, which is there? I don't know, I'm just taking his word for it. You know, someday it would be nice to know if all those things that the old farmers tell you are true. But I'm gonna take his word for it. So this is Danvers. Oh, that's really good. So this carrot, it got cold. We've had 2 freezing nights here in Cedar Park. But it was down to, I think, 25, 2 nights in a row. So my tomatoes froze. What else? I had some Malabar spinach froze. I had some other stuff that froze, which was expected. But the ground didn't freeze where the carrots are. But you definitely, if you live somewhere where the ground freezes, I don't know what temperature that would be, but if the ground freezes, your carrots are toast. They're mush, they're gross. But it's okay if they got a little bit of frost. And in fact, my point is, carrots taste much better in the cold. When you grow carrots here in Texas and you plant them in the spring, they grow really nice, but once it gets warm, they don't taste as good. I think they have a little bitter taste. They have a little sweeter taste when it's cold. So my favorite, now that I've lived here for a year, has been this crop. That to harvest them in the late fall, you know, these were planted, when did I plant these? I think I planted these in April. They made it all the way through the summer and they've been in the ground a little long. That's why I pulled them all out. They're starting to get a ton of little tiny roots and they've been in there a little long. I think a good idea would have been to plant them in August. Give them a couple months of warm weather and then harvest them right now. I think they've been in the ground a little too long, but I wanted to wait till it got a little cooler so they'd be a little sweeter. Well, that's really good. Okay. Let's get a little one over here. There's a little one. I have a bucket of water here. And my plan is to can these and put them in some jars and have them for stews. Because, I mean, I'll wash some off and just put them in. If you put them in a Ziploc bag in the refrigerator, they should last 3 or 4 weeks. I would dry them off pretty good so they don't, you know, sit in water, but they should last 3 or 4 weeks. So I'll put some in the refrigerator just to eat fresh and on salads, but then I'll probably jar the rest and have them for stews all winter. Oh, these are better. These are actually noticeably different. They almost have like a sweeter but herbal taste, if that makes sense, like almost basil-y but sweeter. So this is the long imperator, or imperator, don't know how to say that. So good. That's better. I like these better than Danvers. So, not sure about your climate, but here, this has been a good test to know. I think I would grow these over the Danvers. I'll probably try them one more time just to make sure nothing funky happened or, you know, wasn't a true test. But I'm excited this year. So this is the only 2 varieties I grew through the summer. So I'm excited. I'm a little late. It's now the beginning of November and I'm putting in some seeds. It's going to be warm all week. So the seeds do need some warmth to germinate, and carrots take a while to come up, so don't worry. Some people have told me that what they do is they put their carrot seeds down and then they put a wooden board on top of them, or like some burlap, and that keeps them moist, because they do have to stay wet. That soil has to stay wet when you put carrot seeds down. But I'm out there all the time in my garden, so I just sprinkle them here and there. And then if you're gonna cover them with something like a board, a wooden board, or some burlap, just keep an eye on them, and it'll be about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, and you'll start seeing a little, depending on the warmth, little sprouts coming up. And then definitely remove that and let them grow. They'll grow all through the winter. Here in Texas, they won't freeze, and so this is a great time to plant carrots. I probably should have put them in about a month ago, but it still will work, and then they'll be ready before the spring. And anyways, this has been a great experiment. Happy to know I can grow carrots in Texas. In Arizona, I grew them all the time, but in the winter, always in the winter, only in the winter, and they were easy. Here, I just wasn't sure if it was gonna get too cold, so we'll see this winter how they do, but I think it's gonna be fine.
Carrots are a pretty easy vegetable to grow. They're a little slow growing from seed, but once they sprout, it's a pretty no-brainer. They're really good for you too. They're loaded with vitamin A, beta-carotene, both which are known as antioxidants and cancer fighters. In fact, I heard once that in World War II, the British disguised the fact that they were employing radar to shoot down German bombers by saying their pilots possessed superior night vision by eating carrots. The biggest reason why gardeners have spindly carrots is they don't thin them early enough or often enough. Carrots, once they germinate, you should thin them, 1 to 2 inches apart. Then again, probably 3 weeks later, you could thin them 3 to 4 inches apart, which would be optimal. So again, make sure you keep the soil moist, water regularly. Carrots and weeds also don't mix. Pull the weeds while you're thinning your carrots, and make sure you keep them free from the weeds. Mulch the pathways in between the beds also, and that will cut down on weeds. If you lay down, you could do straw, you could do some compost, or even like shredded bark. Carrots need a really well-drained garden bed to grow. As free as you can from rocks. When you have the rocks, that's what causes the, deformities in carrots, which I don't mind. I think it's fun when you pull out a carrot and it's kind of crazy looking. But you'll get longer, more uniform carrots. If your soil is really soft and slightly sandy, probably the worst would be like a clay, hard clay soil. They just will not work.
Okay, just lightly sprinkle those off so that I can bring them in the kitchen and I don't get soil all over my kitchen. Nice and rinsed off. That's carrots. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.